Hey, this is DJ Punkcast Bed. Guys, I'm gonna let you introduce yourself. For myself, for my point of view, you guys are truly fucking rock legion.
I'm Milo of the Descendents.
I'm Carl of the Descendents.
Guys, welcome back for the first time. Like I said, we're not paid for doing this. This is kind of reward because, you know, you guys have been there for so many years and you learn so many things from the scene, you know. And it's cool to see you still there, you know, rocking in Montebello. What did you guys was thinking when the offer was there on the plate? Like, do you want to play in Montebello? Near Gatineau, it's just like, it's not like Montreal or Quebec was all well known. Or...
Yeah. Well, I mean, we had hooked up for the North by Northeast at Toronto, and then we thought, oh, we're up in Canada, why not do a few other Canada shows? And this happened to present itself to us. So, I mean, we've always had a great time in Montreal, especially, and in Toronto.
For the poutine.
You know what Fat Mike said about the poutine when I did an interview with him? He said, you know, poutine is okay, that's it, you know. It's good, but it's okay. You know, it's not that good. I agree.
Yeah. I haven't had any poutine since I've been here, so I'm looking forward to some. Yeah.
Well, it's simple, but it's also something that I can't get anywhere but Quebec, so it's cool, you know.
People are proud of it, I think. We're proud of it. We're
Yeah.
proud of our poutine.
Yeah, of course. In the U.S., we have stuff like that too. You know, we have chili. You know,
You know, you guys been doing this for so many years. The scene have changed a lot, but I think that, you know, like I said, with the crash of the industry, like there's more, you know, whole band that reform. I think like Agent Orange played, you know, a couple of months ago in Montreal. There's CG Ramones, there's Tonight. You know, they're still doing it, and I don't think that there's much, you know, the new band, like, they do, like, 2 or 3 or 5 or 6 years, but, you know, they don't go, like, 10, 20 years, 25 years, 30 years of punk rock. I mean, it's really amazing.
Well, yeah, I guess, I mean, I look back on that period, and I, you know, we didn't expect to still be doing it today. I mean, I sure didn't, and I think it's a testimony to what, you know, the kind of the magic that was happening at that time with all the, you know, especially where we were coming from, which is in California, a whole bunch of bands that just kind of started to invent a different form of music, and I mean, I think obviously we were influenced by all the bands before us, but still, I mean, I think it was just a whole scene that really kind of congealed, and I think people look back on that and realize that it was special, and that's kind of helped us to kind of have the longevity.
Do you think that people, you know, with the downloading, you know, they have access to any kind of music? And I remember when I was a kid, you were listening to metal, you were metal. You were listening to punk, you were a punk. You know, you cannot listen metal and punk at the same time. It doesn't work, you know. And I think that those days people are more open-minded. And I think that, you know, there's so much artists that do acoustic, like solo set, and it's working. And I think that people, you know, I think they more realize what it is to be a band, you know, like take your guitar solo alone and write the songs, and after that present it to the band and, you know, change the thing.
I think, you know, at least among the guys who played in bands, I don't think that bias of metal or punk rock was ever that strong, because I think we all listened to each other. Obviously, if you listen to the musics, there's, you know, us punk rock types, at least when we were younger, if not during the whole time, listened to Black Sabbath. We listened to all that stuff.
I mean, listen to Ace of Spades by Motorhead. Yeah. That's a punk rock song.
Yeah,
I mean,
The musicians were always on the forefront of melding this thing, or at least, you know, not having hostility. But, you know, people are very tribal. I think people like to belong to a tribe, and they like that. It's easy. It's simple. You can
More easy, I think.
Yeah, you can define your enemy. It's you know, it's so simple.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've never really felt part of a. I mean, we felt part of the punk scene in LA, but we never felt like we were, you know, like a punk band per se. I mean, we take influences from all over the place. And for example, Bill was a huge Black Sabbath fan. Before I got into punk rock, I was in the new wave, so go figure. But I mean, you know, I think we brought a whole bunch of stuff to the table, and I don't think we never really played into the whole punk rock fashion thing, for example, and so it's hard. Some of our stuff's hard to pigeonhole. We tend to sample from a lot of different whatever genres, if you want to call them. So that's kind of helped us out, I think, as well, just to not be.
It was different.
Yeah, it's
totally different.
We're just not, you know. I don't think it was a conscious effort to not be generic, but in the end, we tended to kind of have more unique elements to our music.
And over the years, you guys have opened the door for so many bands, and those days those bands are paying respect. And to see you guys, back again, they're like Pennywise, they're gonna play like I know I talk a lot with Fletcher and Jim, and back in the days it was like playing with the Descendents was the most amazing thing for them because they have a lot of respect and they understand it. And so tonight it's just like it's not just a punk rock fest, but it's like it's Christmas for every band, being all together united in a place that you don't really think to go. I'm surely you never said we're gonna go to Montebello.
No, I love these festival shows. Like we book, we get booked in them, and then my immediate thing is, okay, who do I get to play with, And I look on the bill, it's like, oh, great, I get to play with, Pennywise and Wilhelm Scream and all these great bands.
They're so great.
Yeah, and to me, that's like half the fun is going there. We do our set, but then after we're done, that's like, okay, now who do I get to check out now? It's great. So
also, with a lot of these now, there's a very much a family reunion vibe. I mean, Bill has produced Wilhelm Scream records, so they come and hang out in my town a lot. Pennywise went to the same high school as Bill and Milo. It's kind of funny.
But you guys, I think that those days, young kids don't understand, the word respect, and I think that there's tons of bands that doesn't help other bands, and like you guys did, and I think it's so much great thing. If I start a band and I know you guys back up, it changed my life. And I think that like you guys did back in the days, you said Black Sabbath, you met Ozzy, said it was, it mean a lot when you care and you guys care. And I think that's something that you cannot buy, you have to understand it, and you guys have understand it for so many years. And I think that for all the band that I met that talked to me about Descendents, I think thank you guys, man.
Oh, we are very grateful to people who supported us through the years, and I have continually been just a kind of amazed at our, how many times have I quit the band now? It's like, and every time I come back, I think, okay, well, no one cares anymore, but people still care, and to me, it's just been a really gratifying experience to know that people still do want to hear us even as we enter our twilight years.
Crazy. And when I stopped the radio show, I was in the real radio, take the journal and talk about everything, and I realized that talking about something that I don't know, I'm not comfortable with that, so I quit. I stopped radio. And when somebody asked me, do you want to do a punk rock show, man? You like punk rock, you must be like doing a punk rock show. I felt like everybody must have a fucking punk rock show. Why should I do a punk rock show? I will be like no one and I realized that there was something missing, and that there's not much people that do a punk rock show and care care about the band, because it's all helping the scene. Because I will do a special about Descendents and play like 4 songs for our local band, and people gonna freak out because it's the Descendents, but it's also the other band, and I think that is the unity that I think we missed for so many years. And it's because of you guys, because with the mentality, with the passion, you make that realize to a lot of bands, man.
Well, I think it's weird to realize kind of after the fact that you've tapped into like something more kind of universal in terms of like you said, the passion, and just the kind of like obviously we started the band, we're 17 years old, and it's like you're living in the moment and crystallizing that moment in music, and now this many years later realizing that that's a very special time for everybody, and so that's I think what's helped us is that the passion that we put out back then continues to resonate, and I think that's it's been great.
And over the years, you guys still having fun, and I think that's the recipe of success. People ask me, is there a recipe, man, to do a great album or do a great show? Yeah, there is. Having fun, man.
Actually, though, I can safely say, at least at a level of being at practice, sometimes it's more fun to have the terrible practice, because it's actually, that's when you can kind of make fun of yourself. I don't care how good your band is. There are nights when you sound like garbage at practice. And it is funny. It's part of the thing. It's what makes it human.
Yeah, because the door's closed and you can laugh about it.
Yeah, you don't take too seriously. There's so many bands that want to do like the big hit, and they all broke up after 2 years because they're not ready for that. And you guys been doing this for almost 30 years, which is amazing. When I talk, You start a band. Do you think that 30 years ago you will be there? No, man. You start a band to having fun, man, and you're still there. It's great, man.
I didn't even think I'd be a bass player. You know, to be honest.
How you started up, Carl?
Stefan had a band in Salt Lake City, and their bass player quit the band, and I was at practice anyway because I drew flyers for them, and so they just gave me a bass, and I've been playing bass ever since. There you go.
Life is cool, man, you know?
It's gonna be a cartoon.
I never thought I would do the radio show, man. It just came to me. I think that life, is fair for that, When you have passion, that you do something honest, I think that, she's great for that. And
It's all about expression,
I heard that you guys working on a new album.
I don't know. You heard that from?
I don't know.
Well, you know what? With this, all of us write songs. So yeah, if we were to want to do an album, it'd be pretty straightforward. We all have songs, I'm pretty sure. But we haven't really formalized plans about it or anything. We're just
No pressure.
We all have songs, obviously.
this is Milo's vacation, right now. He's not thinking about it.
Yeah.
Make
My gig right now is that I have another job that I do, which is full time, and any stuff that I do with the band is basically is my vacation. I mean, I use vacation hours. I use my vacation time for my job to do it. So squeezing in a record is still something we'd have to kind of work out the details.
And by the way, Milo, like when the punk rock start, I was not there. I'm 30 years old. I was really not there. But I felt that there was no intelligence in the scene. And there's the Descendents and there's the Bad Religion. And those guys came with their study, first of all, in university. They got degree. And I think it opened the door to a lot of punks saying, man, I can read book and be smart and they will not laugh about me. And for that, again, guys, I say thanks for tons of things you did, but for that, man, I think that the scene was not what this was.
Yeah, well, I mean, when I started out, being in a band, it was mainly just because I was a nerd and didn't really have any kind of outlet for that nerd, kind of energy. So the band provided that. So I just kind of kept up the same kind of nerd thing going because that's kind of what comes naturally to me. The beautiful thing about it is that, yeah, there's plenty of people out there who are in that same boat, if you wanted to put it that way, and need to kind of have an outlet for that. And I think we were able to provide that. I mean, I'd like to think that many of our fans are have a kind of a nerdy aspect to them as well. So to me that's been just a kind of the icing on the cake to be able to inspire people who normally would be kind of outcasts on some level because they're not cool or whatever. And we really are. If I can champion anything, I champion the people who are always got food thrown at them at school because they weren't cool. So that's kind of where we're coming from is champion of the not cool. I mean, he wrote a song about it. I'm not a cool guy. So whatever.
Yeah, but it's funny. I'm really impressed because a lot of that generation of punk rockers, as far as being good examples, I'm looking at okay, Joe from the Vandals is a judge. My first guitar player in my band with Stefan is an attorney for the county in Salt Lake City, Utah. It's a lot of the people in that scene. You were right; they were very, very intelligent people. And moved on to places where you'd expect them to go.
Guys, we're really proud of your career, and you must be really proud of what you achieved over the years. There's not much band that did that. You did that in originality, and we're really grateful for that. And make sure there's always an asshole like me who's gonna play you guys because we appreciate. And like I said, you don't have to do an interview like that because you're well known, and we appreciate it because for us it's a fucking reward, and we appreciate guys.
Cool. We like to support underground radio. That's where we got our start is underground. So we definitely, I mean, to me, it's what's all about. And now we're gonna go watch Pennywise.
Yeah, it's Pennywise, guys. Thank you a lot.
No, it used to be a guy with a